Hey everybody, it's Greg Rice. We're here in the Bucket, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and you're wondering, does your credit matter when you're buying an investment property? Are the banks looking at it? Do they care about it? And the short answer is yes, they do. However, it is not as scrutinized, as fine-tooth combed, as if you were buying a primary residence. Because when you buy a primary residence, that is 100% through and through a liability. There's no income coming in from that property. It's not a rental. And the bank is counting on you for 30 years to pay that off. So, much harder, much more different. On the commercial end, your score is not as important. Okay, it's important to the bank to look at, but it's not a make or break decision. They're going to look at what the property you're purchasing produces in income, what your tax returns look like, also what's your history in the business. Do you have a successful track record of making properties work, or do you not? What is your background like? Okay, what is your community ties? What are your current relationship status? Are you married? Are you single? Do you have children? They're looking at the bigger picture compared to things with the residential and the primary residence market. So I want you to keep in mind that yes, you may have a bankruptcy, you may have a foreclosure, you may have had a nasty divorce, you might have alimony to pay. This is not a deal breaker. People will still consider you and they will want to give you a loan because all investors are not perfect. We have all gotten to our points in our careers by scraping and scratching and tooth and nail all the way up the ladder, and the banks understand that. So when you do apply with a lender, it is my suggestion that you're 100% honest and truthful about your background. They're going to find out anyways, and just say, hey, I got this, I have a bankruptcy, I had a bad flip 10 years ago, whatever the case may be, and they'll usually be able to work around your credit score or your credit situation. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're putting down less than 20%, you're typically going to need PMI on that loan. So if you're buying a property 10-15% down and it's an investment property, first off, round of applause to you for getting that low down payment, but that lender will probably want PMI. And you usually cannot get PMI unless your score is about 660 or higher. So a lot of investors, they have low 600 credit scores because they have so much debt. All that debt gets paid every month by the tenant's rents, but they still have a low score because their utilization of their credit is high. So keep that in mind. But when you're going 20%, 25% down, you don't need PMI at all, and it's usually a breeze. They're going to look at just the property you're purchasing. They're going to omit other things, maybe even just look at your bank statements. That's my experience. Once you start to get 20, 30 properties under your belt, things get a little bit easier. But again, just to wrap this up, credit is important, but it's not a deal breaker. You don't have to be perfect. Banks will want to work with you. Once again, Greg Rice here in the Bucket, your property and your credit managed.